welcome back to First Listen Media. Today we are with Edge of Paradise yet again. Today we are talking with Margarita about the album The Unknown. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. This is great. I loved working with Jammie and I keep forgetting the other guy's name. Crap. Yeah, they were so much fun to work with, and I'm really happy to work with you today too. So let's get into it.
Cool.
All right. What was the writing process behind the songs for you? Like, what inspired the tracks?
Hmm. Well, so the album is sort of the continuation of our last album, Universe. So I already had these themes in my mind, and it was almost like exploration further into the universe. And I'm always inspired by, this just what I'm hearing. Like if I come up with something on the piano, it kind of sparks an idea, or if I wanted to, because I wanted to make the album about all endless possibilities of our future and how technology plays into it, and just like push boundaries of reality, like exploring whether maybe it's possible to, like, for example, my message of madness, whether your choices could, have a rippling effect through different dimensions or timelines, and just like explore the idea of time and all of these themes. Like I always have a fascination in them, so for me it's like just natural to write songs about. But yeah, it's kind of, and then also we wrote the album during the pandemic, so the atmosphere kind of maybe subconsciously inspired some things. So.
I could definitely feel that with a lot of the songs on here, and like I'm all about the sci-fi stuff too myself. Hence why I loved all the album art that was like in the vinyl. I'm like, this is beautiful, and I'm
No,
very tempted to get one of those pyramids. I'm very tempted because I love the way it all looks. See, I'm a huge sci-fi person myself. I love the thought of like space exploration, like the time, like the ripples in space time. I'm all about that. So seeing that in an album was very pleasing to me.
oh, that's cool. That's awesome. I'm happy to hear that.
Mhm. Let's see now. The song that had the biggest impact on me and literally made me cry my eyes out for like 2 hours was Believe. That put me on a spiritual journey. So I really want to hear what that one was about when you wrote it.
Yeah, well, that song also means a lot to me. Um, so it's more of a story-driven song, and I wanted to, like when you're a kid and you have like this basically different outlook on the world, like it's almost like this endless hope, and you still haven't experienced maybe a lot of negative things, or it's just like a different view on the world. So I wanted to kind of capture that. So in the story, this mysterious world event happens, and it sort of divides people, because people automatically, when something that is new and they can't control, and they feel threatened by it, right? So in the song, like the story, the like one outlook is that these people, like it evokes wars, and like people are fighting how to like defeat this thing in the sky that happens. And then on the other side you have like this childlike outlook where the child sees the positive in everything. So instead of destruction, like it's seeing that positive light through whatever is happening, it sort of moves the humanity forward. So I wanted to kind of tell that story to, I guess, encourage seeing positive in things, and also believing in something greater, because I'm a big believer that there's more to life than we can see. So I think a good way to kind of move through life into having that outlook, and also having that belief in something, whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be religious, it doesn't have to be a specific thing, as long as it kind of moves you into the right direction, if that makes sense.
That hits me where I live. I totally understand everything you just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, very inspirational if I do say so myself. The second
Cool.
song I really fell in love with has to be False Idols. Tell me a bit about that one.
So Full Idols is it's definitely one of the heavier tracks. it's more of like metal driving tracks. And so that one, you know, it kind of explores why throughout history and today, you know, certain individuals arise. So why do people follow certain individuals? Or and like you can, I don't know, in the music video, if you've seen it, like we've filmed some of it in ancient Egypt, and then we kind of go into the future. So I wanted to explore like these idols throughout history, but also like if you think of TikTok these days, like why do people follow certain people? Because it's not, I don't know if it's like a elusive thing, because it's not one thing that makes people like want to follow something, but it's very elusive. So it was just interesting to like explore that. And also I guess the song talks more about the negative side of these idols, because it's false idols, because sometimes even it's almost like people follow blindly, because if you think about it, sometimes to step back and really decide, you know, do like some decisive reasoning, maybe it would not be the best choice to follow, but people still follow. So the song's kind of about that.
Oh, I understand that completely. Like I'm an observer. I look through the world as like neutral, and I see all that on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's
Yeah.
like, why are you following these things without given like proper explanation, or why do you follow this if it's not what you want, etc. Like people follow things for strange reasons that I can't even comprehend. And I'm kind of glad someone, well, not kind of, I'm really glad someone put that into a song. Like I loved it.
That's cool.
I'm
Thank
I'm
you.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who realizes that. Okay, let's see here. I'm trying to think because there's a lot of songs I want to go through, but at the same time, it's like I don't want to take up too much of your time. Let's see. I really like, honestly, the whole album drew me in. Like I sat through the entire album for at least 10 playthroughs yesterday alone.
Oh, that's really
So,
cool too.
so yeah, I think the next song I'll go over is You Touch You Die. What
Mm-hmm.
was it like writing that one?
So I really like that song because it's more of like, it's almost like I'm playing this darker character, but the song is about the rise of artificial intelligence and how the idea that it might basically exterminate humans, because you know there's a lot of discussion about the dangers of the rise of artificial intelligence. So in the song, basically, you touch you die, the meaning is like, you know, you created the AI, and now people will, you know, the AI is sort of taking over, and people want to kind of take it back, you know, take back the control. But if they try to take back the control, the AI is saying, you touch me, you created me, and I'm going to destroy you because you can't destroy me anymore. So it's kind of like that, you know, it's like, be careful how far we're taking certain things, because sometimes it would be pretty much impossible to take it back, or to reverse whatever we've done. And it doesn't even have to be with artificial intelligence. A lot of it can apply to a lot of things humanity does that's irreversible. And maybe we thought before that it would be an easy fix, but you know, it's more complicated than that. So it's kind of about that.
I never thought that would have been the reason, but I love it and it makes so much sense. Like that makes way too much sense because the way AI is right now, I can agree with that. It's getting way out of hand
Mm-hmm.
and it's
Yeah.
causing destruction. Like it's just insane. So I can definitely agree with that song entirely. Tell me a bit about, well, tell me like, I don't know why I keep saying a bit about. I want to hear the whole thing. Tell me about One Last Time.
Yeah, so one last time. So okay, in my head, I had this story where, you know, it's like based way in the future. And there's a possibility that when someone is sick, you can basically transfer your consciousness into a computer and live on through that. So one last time is about this couple, right? And like one of them is dying, and they decide to transfer their consciousness into the cyber state, basically. So they go through with that, and the other person starts feeling the disconnect. So even the other person is still acting the same, everything is the same, something is lost with the transition. So one last time is basically the last time you feel that human connection. And then even though everything's still like the discourse or the interaction is the same, that thing that we can't explain, whatever it may be, is lost. So that's the song.
Yeah, that's beautiful, honestly. That's, like, I had a feeling it was something about loss, but I never knew it was like that in depth. That You are an amazing songwriter.
Oh, thank you.
Let's see here. I just realized I'm going way out of order because there are songs at the top I want to go over too, but I'm already like halfway through the bottom list.
That's okay.
All right, well, let's go with Leaving Earth.
Yeah, so Leaving Earth I think it was the second song we wrote, or we recorded. Yeah, and it was it was right at the beginning of the pandemic. So in some way I was like, time to leave Earth. But in some other ways, the song is basically about discovering new ways to live, but also it's about like, no matter what happens to us, like, we tend to overcome, rebuild, persevere. The song is about like rebuilding. And of course, for the album I had to make it on another planet, so we were leaving Earth, finding new worlds and rebuilding. But it's basically about the beauty of life and to continue to preserve that and rebuild. So
That's amazing. I know I said it a few times already, but it's just I can't find the right words to describe like how much I love hearing about the songs, and it's a real eye opener. Let's put it that way.
yeah.
All right. The next song I want to go over is another favorite song of mine on the album, "Bound to the Rhythm."
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, we're gonna do a cool video for it. It's gonna be like short film with some dialogue in between. But so I always have this fascination with time, and it's almost like this um, love-hate relationship. And I always feel like I'm chasing time, and it's just fascinating to me that we can't break away from that, right? Like, no matter what happens, we are all on this timeline. And no matter if there's wars going on, or there's something, whatever is going on, like, in the same moment someone is dying, someone is being born, someone is like going to war, someone is whatever it may be, we're kind of all on the same timeline. And it always like just kind of blows my mind. And it also blows my mind that some people choose a life path of having a really negative and life that evokes a lot of pain onto others, or whatever it may be. But we all have the same destination because we're all slaves to time, and we're bound to the rhythm. We all have that final destination, where the time will take the life away. So the song is kind of about that, but I also wanted to make it positive and basically find a positive meaning to that. There's
Yeah.
beauty.
There's always beauty within life and in death, and the most important thing is it doesn't matter how long you live, it matters on how good those years were. Like, that's
Exactly.
why I run this program here. I'm so happy in my life now when I'm doing this. Before I did all this, I was negative, I was depressed, I was really in a bad place, and I didn't see the beauty with time or with life. And then I started this up after music was my recovery, and here I am enjoying every second of it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool to hear. That's very inspirational to hear. So
Yeah.
I kind of feel the same way, with doing what I'm doing too. It really kind of pulled me out of a dark place. So that's cool.
Music is why I'm still breathing, and that's actually why I started doing my own songwriting as of recent.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just trying to put a band together and actually make it, because I just do lyrics right now, but I really want to make it something more.
Yeah, do it. Do
All
it.
right. my next question will be about Tidal Wave. What was the process and inspiration behind that one?
The Tidal Wave was the first one we wrote, and um, so at the time, like we've been in the band for 10 years, and like we did not have an easy journey. Everything we ever accomplished, like it was like a fight. So it still is, like everything we really work for it, because we started from zero. Like we don't know, at the time we didn't know anybody. Everything we did, like we really, it took it out of us. So Tidal Wave, like we did the European tour, we released Universe album, and it really elevated us to another level. So now, of course, the new year comes, and like this pandemic, and the things start shutting down, tours start canceling, like and we always have, like, there's always some pushback, like nothing is easy to just make happen. So Tidal Wave is pretty much about that, and to just overcoming, and like I'm a tidal wave, like no matter what, I'm gonna overcome it. And then like the song starts like, what else can come next? Because the pandemic just started to take hold. So it was a mixture of what we were going through and what the world is going through. So it's kind of about that.
That's fantastic. I love the way you worded all that. And it's like, yeah, we have obstacles. We got to break through them. Like me, for example, I'm just a small little page. I started off as a recovery from when I got out of hell mentally. And now I'm working with bands like Edge of Paradise and a bunch of other amazing groups. I never thought that would be possible. So it's like, because I'm a small page. And now, like, I've already posted episode 74, and I started this in January. Like I've been pushing through like no tomorrow, and
Yeah,
it's been hard, but I've been going with it because I never want to quit this.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
do feel a lot of I do feel a lot with that, with the song Tidal Wave, because like you said, it's about pushing through those obstacles, and I am someone who's been doing that for a while now, and I love hearing that in an actual song.
That's cool.
Music
Yeah,
is symbolism and its power. That's why I love it.
yes, thank you.
All right, let's talk next about the unknown.
Mm. So the unknown, it's really close to my heart. Like to me, that's the soul and heart of the album, just because of how much meaning the song has to me. And it's also one of our most, I feel like, cinematic songs. And just the way it came together, like that song really just wrote itself. And I don't know, like I was driving that day, and it was like right amidst everything was shut down, and I was driving through the empty freeways of LA, which never happens. And of course, I already found out tours were canceled. Everything was just, really surreal at the time. And then, I got home, and I just wanted that music sort of, I wrote the chorus on the keyboard first, and that just really inspired me to just say these words. And really, every word in that song is just how I feel a lot of the times. Like sometimes I feel like I'm alone, sometimes I feel I can't go on, and then like finding strength within whether it's something we don't know that tomorrow will bring, or sometime, or whether thinking what's after this life, you know just all these unknowns. I wanted to change the narrative from fearing that, because that's what happens to me a lot. Like sometimes if I can't control something, or I don't know what's going to happen, it tends to make me fearful. So I wanted to change the narrative for myself first and foremost, and then hopefully inspire others to see strength in something we don't know.
One thing I've learned is some of the best songwriting comes when we're in our darkest moments, and hearing this really reminds me of that. Because like when the pandemic hit, it was all like just so miserable, and we had so much stuff going through our minds, and just gotta get out of our system somehow. I love how you though like flipped it to something more positive instead of it being negative. Like I can relate a little bit to that. When I wrote my first set of lyrics, I was literally in a therapy waiting room having a mental breakdown.
Oh,
So yeah, like seriously, I had a flashback to my old self, and all my hand just did the rest. And it's like it. Pain is one hell of a writing source, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, it really is. And I guess one way to look at it is like it's very, very therapeutic, right? So,
Oh yeah,
um, yeah.
very, very therapeutic. I think we have one more song left, I believe, and I think that would be Digital Paradise because we talked about my method, your madness earlier, I think.
Yeah, we mentioned it.
Yeah, so the last one I believe on here is Digital Paradise. So tell me about that one.
Yeah, so that song is really it. So that was the first single we released, and it introduced the album with this sort of sci-fi theme. So Digital Paradise is about finding afterlife through existing in the digital space, because it almost took our previous album Universe, because in that title track, the Universe, I said take me to forever, and that was the chorus. So Digital Paradise is almost the exploration into finding that forever. So it's about the possibility of uploading our consciousness into a computer and living through this binary code. But then the question is, would we ever be able to do that fully, or will something be lost? And it's almost like human suicide, and we're just digital replicas of ourselves. So the question is, what is consciousness? What is the soul? And we'll leave it open ended, because I just wanted to spark that discussion within us, because the research is ongoing right now. It's not like something science fiction. It's actually, there's a lot of people researching and figuring out ways to scan the brain, to upload it into a computer and extend our lifespan through that, even finding immortality.
I've been
So
actually reading about that myself because that was something I was curious in because I heard a lot of research was going on for that. So honestly, I think it's interesting, but at the same time, are we overstepping? Like, what are we going to lose if we do that? Like,
yeah, and
we'll just clone us and the original will be dead. Like, what's going to happen?
yeah, so and nobody really knows, because we don't really know what consciousness is. And then also, I guess the question is, will the value for life be lost, because we won't really have that. I mean, I don't know. For me, like, I live forever, because I feel like there's infinite things to explore, and then you can explore the universe. It's endless. So I feel
Yeah,
like, but then at the same time, you don't have that appreciation for each moment. It's just, it'll be a completely different concept of life. So it
that
was just interesting to think about these things.
that's why I believe the ideal of immortality is extremely flawed. Because if you will live forever, then you ain't gonna enjoy life. Because here's how I live. I live every day to the fullest that possibly can. Because I always think if life can end tomorrow, I want to enjoy today. How are you gonna have that same type of ideal on life if you don't die, or if you can't die? It's like you won't be as motivated to do as much with your life if there's no end to it.
Yeah, yeah, there's that side, of course. Um, so yeah, and it's always interesting to hear what people think about this, because I feel like, the further we move through humanity, there's always that need to explore, um, the idea of extending lifespan, the idea of finding immortality, because a lot of people don't want to die, right? So,
Don't get me
uh,
wrong. It's sorry, I cut you off. You finish.
no, I'm just saying, because it's interesting to hear other people's viewpoints, because we're all so different. But I totally agree with you. I think the beauty in experiencing life is that the idea that there is an end to it, or our idea of an end. Maybe it's just another step to something else, right? To the unknown.
Exactly. Like you never know what's next. And honestly, if it is the end, if there is no afterlife, it's like I'm not gonna be too worried because at least I lived how I wanted to. That's all I gotta say. Like live how you want to, not how other people want you to. Because I used to live how other people wanted me to. I was so miserable. That's also kind of what led to my depression until now, where music has really gotten me out of it. I found what I want to do in my life. But it's like
Mm,
you can't just live for the sake of you don't think you're gonna die, because if you put your all your hope in that and you end up living a crap life, what do you have to say that made your life worth it?
yeah, that's true. And that's very true. You have to kind of find your happiness in what you're doing, otherwise, it can lead to bad things.
Exactly. You gotta live life to the fullest in any way possible. And I love how a lot of people who put on the songwriting do a very good job of it, like you did. Like I love the way you did all that with the words, the like the whole thing. Like it came together really well, in my opinion.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Of course. Also, the album cover. Who did the art for that, and what inspired the art for that?
So the artist that did the cover, so we have a lot of artwork throughout the album. So the back cover actually we used as a front cover when we released the single Digital Paradise, and it has that sort of cyborg and a skull. So the idea is if we turn into cyborgs with ourselves, so we kind of went that direction. Now the cover was so that one was created by Timo Wars, who's a German artist and did a lot of our covers previously as well. He's really amazing. The front cover was actually created by Alex Ruiz, and he was referred to me by an artist, Dresden Seven, who created our language. And I don't know if you know about our alien language we have. So we have these symbols that go next to, with each letter of the English alphabet. And then we write different words, and then people, if they have the cipher, and the cipher comes with every album and CD, then people can see what we're writing. So we write all these messages throughout our merch, throughout the album. Really have to look and find it, but it's really fun. It's actually, we have a hidden word on the front cover of the album. And Dresden Seven, he's also a musician. He does a lot of electronic music. And he referred us to Alex Ruiz. He told me about him. And Alex is an artist in Los Angeles, and he does a lot of work for movies as well. And when I saw that cover was just so perfect for the music, just to give the face to the music, because it's abstract enough, but then you still see an image that you can sort of put together, but then it's so detailed, so it has that mystery element to it. And I don't know, and I just thought it was so perfect, so I was really happy with how it turned out.
Oh, it fit the album perfectly, in my opinion, especially with how the songs are. It fit
Mhm.
really well. I loved it. Well, I still love it. It's great.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And the record, the vinyl record, for everyone listening, it is a must-have. Order yourselves a copy. It is definitely worth it.
Thank you.
Of course. Like I said, I played it. I did 10 playthroughs yesterday alone on it because I wanted to prepare myself for today. A and B, I just can't stop listening to it.
Thank you so much. It's really cool to hear, because I feel like there's a lot of complexity in the song. So when you hear it, I feel like you'll just maybe hear the songs or hear something you didn't hear before, because every song takes us so long to put together because there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
But yet wanted to make sure they're still accessible. So wanted to find that balance. So it's really cool that you listen to it a lot, and it's very cool to hear. So thank you.
I'm glad. I mean, hey, good music is good music. It's hard to find these. Actually, no, it's not hard to find, but it's more difficult than people might think. Because a lot of the best stuff I've heard is underground.
Mhm.
And I work with a lot of underground groups, so I always have them on here. It's nice having people who are like higher up as well. Because honestly, you guys are the first verified group I worked with.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
I'm excited. I'm very happy about that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kill Sound. It's still like I've always wanted to work with a group like you because I love the sci-fi feel. I've always been a fan of that kind of genre, that kind of take on the industry, and it's nice being able to finally work with someone who does that.
Oh, it's cool. And it's always cool for me to, connect and speak like this, because I think it's really awesome how music brings people together. It's like a universal language. And maybe that's the only reason the aliens didn't kill us off yet. Maybe they like our music, right?
Possibly. Hey, who knows? Oh man, music. I miss going to concerts, I swear. I cannot wait for them to bring those back. Because
Yeah,
if you want to talk about universal language, music festivals was a treasure trove for those.
hmm yeah. Yeah, it's coming back. I mean, a lot of people are on tour now, so it's just, hopefully we'll get on tour next year. So we're working towards that. Just hoping, we won't have some zombie apocalypse next. So.
Yeah. Well, hey, if you guys do end up touring hit Connecticut, I'll rush over there so fast. 'Cause I live in the States, so I will rush to go to that show in a heartbeat.
Awesome. Well, it would be awesome to meet you in person. So we're looking forward.
Keep me updated on that. This has been so much fun.
Mm.
I love doing these. Like I try to make these fun for everyone because I know people who do these also have to deal with like the whole professional side of things. I'm like, oh screw that. Let's just have fun with it.
Yeah, yeah. It's,
Because
it's
I've worked
all
with people who were like, we had to do it for radio and it was so boring. I'm like, well, let's make these fun. Speaking of which, I do have one last question, which is my personal favorite. Do you have any questions for me?
Well, we actually talked a lot, so I kind of feel like I know some things about you,
Fair
but I'm
enough.
I'm also curious to um so well, first of all, how old are you, just so I kind of know?
23.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. So what would you said you want to do the band. Um what are your passions? Like where do you see yourself in 10 years? Because people always ask.
Honestly, 10 years from now, well, we already have some plans in the works with the group with labels I work with. We're trying to launch a festival for when COVID's done. So 10
Mhm.
years from now, I see myself running that festival with them.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, we have to play that
Well, when it
festival.
launches, I'll definitely let you know.
That's really cool.
Yep. That's one of the biggest things we're working on right now. Hence why I'm trying to rebrand this page to make it look more professional. So when we do launch that, it'll be better organized. A, it'll look better. B, and C, we're just trying to put everything together as best as we can.
That's really cool. Yeah, it's really awesome to have goals and ambitions. And for me, it's really important because it's almost like I have a path that I see myself going. And I feel like I'm lost if I don't have any ideas to follow. So no matter what, always follow your goals and ambitions and your passions, because I feel like that's kind of the guiding light. So don't ever give up on anything, because the worst thing you can do is to, like, years later, ask yourself, what if I did that? Or what if I didn't quit? Or that's like my biggest fear, to regret, you know?
Oh, I feel that. That's why I'm never quitting. It's like I'm doing this till the day I die. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's like having a dream is the only way to truly live, in my opinion. Like most people give up on the dreams because they become adults and they're like, oh, I have to work and do this now. It's like you can still focus on the dream too. Just manage your time properly.
Yeah.
Your dream can end up being your job in the future if you work hard enough at it and you do it. And with the internet nowadays, if you do a good enough job, it can be your job.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you gotta take that into account and really push yourself to make it all you can make it, which is why I'm doing this as much as I am. Because someday I want this to be my job. That'd be amazing. Working is something I actually enjoy doing in my life.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying
That's
to improve my quality so I can keep expanding it to where that can be a reality for me.
cool. That's very cool. Well, we're always here to support. So, you know,
Thank you so much, and likewise to likewise here. If you ever release new stuff, I'll promote it on the spot.
awesome.
So just
Thank,
send it my way, and I'll share it as much as I can.
thank you.
That's why I started this page. After all, was to help artists. That's the only reason why I started this up. Music got me out of offing myself, and I wanted to give back to it. So I just put all this together. Hasn't even been
Uh,
a full year yet. Like I haven't even done this for a full year. January 19th, no, 17th will mark 1 year since I've done this.
wow. So, I mean, and where you're at already now, so everything, just remember that everything takes time to grow. Like it took we've been doing this for 10 years, and yeah, it's enjoying the journey as well, and even the hard times, because the hard times make it more rewarding at the end,
Oh,
you know.
definitely. After
Yeah,
all, if something is too easy to obtain, it's probably not worth it. The things you got to work for are always worth more in the end.
exactly.
That's something I realized a long time ago. Because
Yeah,
hardship is what got me to even start this up, and it has been the best decision I've ever made. I regret nothing.
that's cool.
This has been fantastic. I think I'm gonna end things here because we did everything that I wanted to get out of the way. And when I get out of the way to talk about, I gotta fix what I say sometimes. I've been out of it today.
Oh
But
no.
but yeah, everything I wanted to talk about, we talked about, and this has been amazing. Like this was a dream come true for me. Because like I
uh
said, after I heard Believe, I was literally on like a mental spiritual journey for like the whole song. It got me really thinking about life. So I am very glad that song exists. The whole album is flawless too, in my opinion.
Thank you so much. Really means a lot. Thank you. It's very, very inspiring to hear. So thank you
I'm
very much.
glad. And honestly, thank you for inspiring me. Like I thank all the artists I work with because seeing their passion into their music keeps me motivated to keep this going too. Because it's all about passion. It's all about ambition. Like I want
Mhm.
to keep that going, and I can see it with everyone I work with. I can see that ambition, so it just gives me more confidence in myself to keep this up. Because
Yes.
when I first did this, I was terrible. I did so bad because I'm like, crap. I didn't mean to cut the dude off. I'm like, I hate myself so much for this. And now look at me, 74 episodes later, and I'm doing a lot better than I was when I started.
Oh, it's been a great talking to you. Thank you.
It's, it has been so much fun. Thank you, and thank you for coming on with us today. This has been great.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Everyone have a wonderful day. This has been First Listen Media, and our guest today was Margarita from Edge of Paradise. You have a fantastic day.
You as well.